Good morning. Welcome to Sunday morning. Welcome to the Unity Church of Chesterland. Welcome to an hour where we join together with churches everywhere, with spiritual traditions and spiritual communities everywhere. Okay, and we have a particular tradition of our own. We honor our own path, our own tradition of unity, the unity movement. Let's declare this statement of this identity statement about unity. Together, we are a positive, practical, mystical approach to Christianity based on the teachings of Jesus and the power of prayer. We honor the universal truths in all religions and respect everyone's right to choose their own spiritual path. That's been Unity's foundation for a long time. This particular statement is 25, 30 years old. I think it's still very relevant. Thanks. And then here at Chesterland Unity, we acknowledge that there are many paths, many spiritual traditions, and we honor them and honor our own path as well. Thanks. And we honor this particular spiritual community, Chesterland Unity. Let's declare this about our spiritual community here. Unity of Chesterland is richly blessed as we express acceptance and love for every person and each situation. Every person, each situation. So whatever it is, we accept it. We accept it in love, in the same way that the presence of pure being accepts everything, pulls everything in together, and holds it all in love. And then in that embrace of love, all things work together for good. And one more classic unity, invocation, the great invocation. Let's declare this together. I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I acknowledge your presence and power, O blessed Spirit. In your divine wisdom, now erase my mortal limitations, and from your pure substance of love, bring into manifestation my world according to your perfect law. Now that one's been used to start Unity events for over 100 years. Okay, so here we are. We're on the third step of a 7-step process of creation. Identifying, accepting, and using spiritual principles that are pointed to in the creation story from Genesis, the 7 days of creation. It's also something that we're using Eric Butterworth's book, The Creative Life, for. So, consciously created change. Change happens all the time, and we have the opportunity to direct it, to affect it at least, to choose what we want. And so you've been encouraged to pick a project, to pick something that you would like to use to focus these techniques and this consciousness on. A big idea. So, conscious creation. Creation's continually going on, and we are aligning ourselves with that unfolding process. So, perhaps you have chosen a project. Maybe you just haven't gotten around to that yet. Okay. You're still here. I'm still here. There's a reason for that. There's something for us to do, to say, to be, or we wouldn't be here. So, be open for an insight to that. Okay? And then maybe align with that and help that along. Okay, so 7 days. The first day, let there be light. Let there be an idea from the mind of God. The mind of God has big ideas. Divine ideas are huge, radically inclusive. They're not very specific. Some people have said that the divine idea of abundance doesn't care about your checkbook balance. Or the divine idea of life isn't concerned with your shoulder pain. I'm not sure about that. But the point of saying those things is we want to think about the big picture, the big idea from the mind of God. That's the light. And so some of those ideas we've talked about in our study of the 12 hours. Spiritual principles, qualities of the Holy Spirit. Big ideas. And so our first step in being in the creative process is to choose the arena. Choose the category of spiritual energy that we want to align with. Life, love, imagination, power, wisdom, understanding, faith, life, love, beauty, truth, oneness, whatever large categories of spiritual understanding you can think of. That's the arena, that's the light. That's the light that the story said. God had an idea. And the idea that God had, the light that God had at the beginning was be. The idea was existence, being, and that initiated it. So, but as Butterworth reminds us in his book, God did not create. God is creativity in action. Not a being that is creating, but is the activity, the consciousness of unfolding goodness and all things working together for good. Next. Divine ideas come with everything that is needed for them to be actualized. So, Myrtle Fillmore said they come pregnant with infinite possibilities of expression. Every idea from the mind of God has everything with it in order to be completed. Accessing it, aligning with it, that's our job. Okay? And when we can align with that light and recognizing that that light of God is within us. Deep within me is the power to see all that can be. Let's declare that together. Deep within me is the power to see all that can be. To see that all that can be for ourselves, for another, for our country, for the world. Day 2 in creation. Let there be a firmament. What the heck is a firmament? Okay, firmament is a dome that is a space creating idea. It means dome in a way. Okay, it creates space. The modern Hebrew translation for firmament is expanse. It could be space, spaciousness. Let there be room for something. And that spaciousness, that expanse, is charged with energy, and that energy we call faith. There is a faith energy that says all things are possible. That has been created on the second day. So there's an idea, and then there's an arena. There's a place for that idea to take place, and the energy for it to be fulfilled. It's more than belief. It's a deep knowing. Deep knowing. That's the power of faith. Let there be an expanse with possibilities. On the third day, land, vegetation, and seeds. Let dry land appear with seeds and vegetation. That's a condensation of a whole bunch of verses. Dry land, he put the waters apart. That something solid begins to appear. It appears in mind. Something takes form, takes shape. This is a mental attitude. The first 3 steps of the creative process are all internal. Something takes shape in our minds. It takes and uses an energy, a quality that we have in our mind called imagination. Our power of imagination is used. Now, this process of participating in the creative process is often called manifestation in New Thought and New Age communities. Creating something intentional. I've heard that people have visited some New Thought churches and have been welcomed with, "Welcome, thank you for being here, glad that you're here. What would you like to manifest today? What do you want to create?" Well, that's something that we do, but that's not something that we do like that. When we have imagination, this imaging forming in our mind is often the first step in manifestation. You know, the prosperity teachers and the secret conveyors say, imagine it, feel it, taste it, have it so clear in your mind that the universe has no choice but to react and respond to it. There's some truth to that. there's also danger in that. I knew a woman that went to one of those manifestation, create it now, build your dreams kind of workshops. She was having financial problems. Her need was in prosperity. And so, well, yeah, that's a lot of the manifestation techniques are used around connecting with abundance, having a sense of enough. Well, the idea that she got that came up to her is, I want to be a realtor. I need money. I've got to do something. I want to be a realtor. And so if I'm a realtor, I need to have a nice car to take people around in. And so she leased a Cadillac right away. Didn't work out very well because she took things out of order. The first steps, including this imaging step, are internal. It doesn't have any action steps in the outer, nothing to do. First things first. In the beginning, the divine. In the beginning, God. So we connect with Spirit. We open ourselves to be inspired, to be assured that we have a sense of faith, and then to start collecting ideas. A lot of ideas come up. So in the Genesis story, it said that the land appeared. Something solid appeared. Something solid appears in our imagination. Filled with vegetation and seeds. It didn't come simple. It came packed with a whole bunch of different possibilities. All sorts of seeds, all sorts of things growing. Lots of ideas come with that emergence of something solid. Something that's all over the place. Lots of seeds, lots of possibilities. Takes hold of imagination. So our imagination is captured a lot of times. Captured and misused. The woman who mistakenly, prematurely leased the Cadillac was a victim of metaphysical malpractice or metaphysiling. Okay? So there are valid spiritual principles in the correct context. Okay, so where do these seeds come from? Where do these ideas come from that are all over the arena that we have thought about? Well, it could come from family. We grew up in certain traditions where we were told this is what we want, and this is what we're going to do, and this is good, and this is bad. And those voices are with us for forever, maybe, but we need to listen and understand what they are. And then there's the voices of our friends and the values and practices in our culture and our own personal ego. Then there's the urges and impulses that we have within us, what we sense. All these things create images. Use our imagination to give us something that's a possibility. And then there's an entire what is it? Business, more than a business. Huge organization that tries to capture our imagination, that tells us what we want. Advertising. So here's an ad that's real. You want it. You want it bad. Sometimes so much it hurts. You can taste it. You feel like you do anything to get it. Go further than they would expect. Twist your soul. Crush what's in your way. Then you get it. And then something happens. You become the object of your desire. And it feels incredible. This was real. Put the next one on. An advertisement for perfume in a window in Macy's. Now that seems a little over the top, doesn't it? But that's exactly what advertising is trying to do. It's trying to take over the power of imagination that we have and to create a focus for us. Not just advertising. The news wants us to be afraid. The news wants to frighten us, to get our attention so that we are there to see the advertising. And so fear is something that's used to get our attention. And we're vulnerable to that because our fear grabs hold of imagination. We can imagine all sorts of things that can go wrong. And there's energy that goes into that, and we don't want to put energy into negativity. So there's another source. Possibilities rise up from within me through the spiritual power of imagination. From within. From the spiritual power of imagination. Through the spiritual source connected with imagination are possibilities of wholeness, possibilities of oneness, direction for alignment with the unfolding of everything working together for good. So, there's inspirational things that come up. Inspirational things that are connected with what's going on in our lives. And then there's information that's coming in from what's going on in our lives with all of the opinions from family and friends and culture and race consciousness, and so we're filled with all sorts of ideas and possibilities. That's what bubbles up. That's what rains down on us. What do we do with it? Notice it. Notice it. We want to let everything rise up and rain down. Because at this point in the creative process, we're not quite sure what steps to take. We're not quite sure yet of how appropriate a particular goal might be. The appropriate step for that woman to take in leasing her Cadillac would be on day 6. Okay, after the process of discernment and the wisdom of examination. Okay, we let them rise. There's a word for this. Brainstorming. So we consciously invite all of the ideas that we can get. The unity of Chesterland Church of Christianity is a divine idea in the mind of God. Yes. Growing into complete expression. How? That's what it used to look like.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it was even more unfinished before that. But a lot's happened here. And there's some question about what's going to happen next. What do we do? So, big picture. Unity of Chesterland is a divine idea. There's this idea of a spiritual community sharing an understanding of truth that empowers people to make a difference, that connects people directly with God and with each other and with themselves. Okay, and there's space. Look at the space. You know, all sorts of possibilities, not just the space in the building, the space in the 11 acres that we have, the space that we have in Chesterland and Geauga County. There's a great opportunity here, and we have the power of faith. So what do we do? I want to do a couple minutes of brainstorming. What can we do? What can this spiritual community do? What are some possible steps? So I'm going to record these on my phone and then put them together for later processing, maybe next week, maybe in 2 weeks. So call them out. What can we do to provide security, abundance, a sense of direction for the future?
A drumming circle for the equinoxes and the
drum circle.
Solstices, and prayers at our wheel. We have
Prayers at the
of
medicine
four
wheel.
directions and in between.
Okay.
9 times.
Prayers and programs at the medicine wheel. What else? Anything.
Get an appraisal of the land here and the possibility.
Get an appraisal for the value of the land. Okay. And then why? Maybe sell off part of the land to provide some resource. That's been discussed many times.
Affordable assisted living.
Hmm?
Affordable assisted living in a community of helpers.
Okay, so create an assisted living community here. Maybe a bunch of tiny houses.
Yes.
New thought, cooperative living space. Sell it all and rent space somewhere. Okay? Someplace that's a little more convenient. Most everybody here is north, maybe up in Willoughby, Mentor. There are churches that have closed up there that can be rented. It's been suggested that Chesterland Unity merge with Renaissance Unity and get a location somewhere between us to the south. Yes.
Create a park with activities almost every day that draw people in to experience both nature and how to grow personally.
So create a park, an experiential park that would draw people in. Okay? So one of them might be a labyrinth. Okay? That's an activity that's common in a lot of Unity churches. It could be a meditation walk that goes through the hills and the woods here with different places of meditation.
Create a fairy garden.
Fairy garden. Fairy garden.
Explain.
There have been some suggestions of what we could do as a community to grow or to provide some stability, like have 12-step groups meeting here. What else?
Senior center.
Senior center. It's already a senior spiritual center. All right. It's been suggested that we should have a youth ministry program. That's not relevant, but that's okay. We're not judging them. Have a youth ministry program. Build a sanctuary. Build a bigger space. Use this as the fellowship space. Have movies with discussions every so often. What else? One idea I found is have death cafe discussions.
What is it?
That's a formal program where people get together to openly discuss their ideas about death. Okay, sounds kind of maudlin, right? No, we all think about it. Anybody in our age, we think about it. Okay, so, and where can you talk about it? So that's, what else might we do? Have a daycare program for kids. Have yoga classes.
Right.
That's what I mean by a senior center, where you have all those activities.
Senior center activities. Yeah.
All those things you mentioned. Movies, yoga, 12-step groups. I'm a social worker. Don't mind me.
Okay, all right. Okay. So you see what we're doing here? Any other ideas?
How about having a liaison with the school system, and somehow with the youth of the school system for, for their needs or something, like when people stuff backpacks, full of school supplies or clothing or
Okay.
somebody to talk to.
Okay. Have provide some help for a school system for kids, kind of like the little bit we do in collecting food for the food bank.
Mm-hmm.
Do something more
Maybe
socially, expand the social action. Yeah. More of those will come up. But did you see what we were doing? Okay, so there's all these ideas. This is the seeds. This is the vegetation that came up with the possibilities that emerged from the formless. What about you? Put the next one. Let's declare this together. I am a divine idea in the mind of God, empowered by faith, growing into complete expression. That's a truth. That's a truth about you. That's a truth about each one of us. There's a reason that we're here. We have a purpose. It might not be grand and public and famous, but there's something that we need to do. Maybe just to live well. Live well. So, let's say that somebody has as their project, they want to feel better. Maybe they have an injury, a disease, a joint that was replaced. What's the overall category for that? Life. The power of life. That's an energy that heals, restores, creates, and makes well. Then the more specific idea that comes up is health. What's connected with health? What ideas might come up if you're focusing on health? Well, what doctor am I going to see? What do I eat? Are there any supplements that I should take? Do I need to take this medication? Are there some tests that I have to have done? What else? What about my lack of exercise? How much water should I drink? Is this the right place for me to be living? You see, all these different ideas come up. Don't limit them. Let them all come up. So the same thing would happen if you have some project having to do with a relationship or having to do with a sense of abundance in your life, or maybe about your own particular purpose. So if you don't have a particular project, how about the divine idea that you are, and the Christ that you are, the complete expression of your higher self? What would that look like? Activities and habits, food, clothing, shelter. What gives you joy? What's fun? What scares you? What gives you pain? So that's going to be the focus of a little meditation time. To allow seeds and vegetation, uncensored, to come up within you about yourself or about your project. We're going to hold that all in the context of perfect love that casts out fear, perfect love that works all things together for good. In the same way we've let ideas come up about Chesterland Unity, we've let ideas come up about the idea of health and healing. Let a particular topic or the general topic of your being generate all sorts of ideas from all around you and from deep within you. Okay, so we're going to set a context for this by singing a little chant. I am awakened to love. In that love, allow to rise up from within you and to rain, shower down from around you ideas, possibilities for who you are and who you could be. What could you do? What could you say? Where would that be? With whom would that take place? Let ideas, all sorts of ideas, come up. You can capture them later, but open the door to possibilities. Listen, watch, wait in the quietness within you, in the silence, in the silence. And for the emergence of those possibilities and our connection with Source, let us be grateful. Hold an idea of gratitude and love. The love that makes all things new, works all things together. In love and gratitude, we pause. Hey, Sharon. Thank you, Sharon. Why is that melody so familiar?
Used everywhere.
Hmm? I don't know. Okay, So this is a time whenever we bless the giving of our tithes and our love offerings. This is the time that we bless what we have planned. We bless our checkbooks, calendar, to-do list, contact list. Divine love moves through us, uses us, and blesses all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. Let's declare that together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Freely I give, freely I receive. I am grateful. So it is. Let's join together and sing, I am free, I am unlimited. Not there? Thank you for your support. I bless these gifts, dedicate them to do the work of unconditional love, universal truth, and abundant life. So it is. Amen. Okay. Saturday. This coming Saturday. An immersion in sound, healing sound, sound that would cleanse and align and do surprising things for us. So, is it all set up, Barbara? Yeah? Good. So there's an ensemble of people. It's going to be more than one person banging on a gong or a bowl or a drum. Okay? So, and it's part of, it's a special weekend. So I thought, I can call this Sounds and Songs of the Spirit weekend. Okay? So anyway, so here's a picture of a sound bath that was not taken at a senior spiritual center. Because if you're like me, I don't get up and down off the floor very often. Okay? And so chairs work just fine. Okay? But if you want to bring a mat, we don't have any yoga mats here. But if you want to bring one and stretch out, there will be some room for that. But I would imagine that you're going to be like me and probably sitting in a chair. Okay? Next. And then Armand and Angelina are doing the Sunday service next week. They are fun people. They're very skilled, professional, New Thought troubadours that just travel all over the country. I don't think they've been here.
They have not.
Okay? But they've been to a few of the churches that I've been to, and everybody likes them. So after the service and after the little brunch that we have, they're going to do a flute recorder workshop. And so Saturday, 4 o'clock, the Sunday service at 11, and the flute workshop at about 12:30. Come for as much as you can. Okay, so next. Any other announcements? Glad that you're here today. Okay, your being here brought something to all of us. So we're going to close by forming a circle. And then in that circle, holding our hearts open to those for whom we would pray. Then we're going to declare the prayer for protection and sing the peace song.
We're gonna have to move.
Oh, my.
Come on.
You guys lie down.
Yeah.
I don't wanna be stretched too much. Yeah.
All right. So we have made that connection. We have a circle. We have a sense of completion. And in that connecting with each other, we're connected with Source. We're connected with God, and we're connected with family and friends. We're connected with people around the world. In Gaza, Ukraine, Myanmar, in Texas and Chile, all over the world. We're connected in the oneness that we are. Anybody in particular that you want to hold in prayer and mention?
Joe Crawford.
Richard, Martine, Elio.
My brother Pat.
My brother Robert.
Mm-hmm. We're deeply connected through the oneness that we share. And in that oneness there is power. And in that presence and power, we declare these words of the prayer for protection for all of us together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Let there be peace. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God our Creator, united.